On. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have a very special guest today, and the reason I say special, I know I always say that in my blogs and my podcast, but this one is particularly special because I have been friends with this gentleman for a long time since I started Salsa Gang. And this gentleman has hung out with me for a long time, ever since the beginning, whether we used to go to trips to Los Angeles Salsa Congress. He was there. This was at the time when Luis was just a member of a dance team, or he was just a social dancer and was not into the competition professional arena yet at the time. Please welcome Mr. Luis Aguilar.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. And it's a pleasure to be here in such a wonderful time. Rodney's been reaching out, and I'm glad that we were able to make it happen, brother. It's been many, many years, and it's great to see you doing amazing things.
It's great to see you still kicking alive. I know you had your time in the competitive days, and we have taken a little break because of this pandemic when it comes to building up your dance team and of course still teaching here and there all over the world. How is that going for you for now?
It's this is a great question. I think that there's a lot of things that happened during the pandemic where the performing arts world was just highly, highly impacted by the entire shutdown. And, you know, I took the time to really step back from it and take it as a moment to reflect on what is really important for my life
Yeah,
and what is, how much better can Luis Aguilar become as an individual, as a professional, as a father, and as a human being overall.
yeah,
So I do believe that, for me, COVID was really tough. It's, the sad part, just to give you a little insight, the sad part is my dance company was preparing for this really, really incredible show
yeah.
that I have to say it's one of my favorite pieces that I've choreographed. And I was working with such an amazing, really well-rounded, talented dance team, different levels who, stepped into the challenge. They were up for the challenge, and we had professionals that were up for sharing and the knowledge with different level students. So it was a beautiful production style piece that we were building. And that week that we were getting ready to perform is the same week that we experienced the shutdown. So our costumes are still hanging in our closets, and but overall, I think what was really great about it is that Ronnie, we live as artists. We are go 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 every single day, and we work so hard on trying to please the audiences, the crowds, and we cater so much of ourselves to the community.
Yeah.
Um, where at times we can forget about our own being and what makes us truly happy. So for me, COVID was that major reset where for many years I've contributed to the community, and I took a step back and said, I need to find myself again and feel really inspired by other things. And, you know, that inspiration has been the appreciation of my health,
Yeah,
my well-being,
yeah,
so, we were impacted. Um, but I think when you can gather yourself, ground yourself as a being, I believe that any dance class from here on out that I teach means that much more to me. So I've been teaching classes here and there. I've been doing some online stuff with the boys over at COVID Party with Pong. Um, this it's been a great experience. So I believe that, for me, it's really, really made me feel a lot more connected with my being, with myself. And I think that overall, any student would want to have a teacher who's really grounded emotionally, physically, psychologically. All of those things come into place, or come into play. given how difficult COVID was for us all. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
you know,
I don't think I'll ever thought that the industry that we are involved in
right,
will close down because,
hmm
part of our industry is pretty much an addiction to dancing, whether it's our
right,
passion, professionally, socially, or even just the DJs themselves. We were all affected by this. But
yeah,
you're my friends on Facebook, you're my friends on Instagram. I've always liked the fact that the things that you post our positivity. And of course, your
yeah,
new inspiration, as you know, your kid is your new
yeah,
inspiration now. I know your inspiration before was to win, and you are indeed a legend in that regard. We're multi-title champion, and then your inspiration after that was to be a coach, to train
yeah,
young dancers and develop them into where you were, and
yeah,
and that was done, right? And then
yeah.
then you have a kid. Tell me about this inspiration.
Ronnie, is one of the most beautiful, and I don't want to sugarcoat it, is, being a father. Everybody talks about how beautiful it is
Yeah.
and how amazing it is. Of course, it is all of those wonderful things, but it is challenging.
Yes.
It is challenging because you then now have to adapt and you have to change your way of life according to now a little human, who
Yeah.
basically runs your life. In this case, my son, Kenzo Aguilar, he's just, since the first day that I found out that I was going to be a father,
Yeah.
I tell you, man, my life changed. Winning a titles was fantastic and I enjoyed it. I remember crying on the stage or off the stage after receiving the
Oh,
trophies.
I remember that. I was there.
I'm sorry that you got to witness that, but it's good. It's good. You got to meet a soft side of me, and those are all things that the reward comes with hard work.
Yeah.
And I knew that myself as a being. Fortunately for me, I prepared myself. I was raised by both my parents. Both my parents are been together, married for many years. They're going on, God, 50 years plus. Married
Yeah.
together, and so I that's all I know, right? So when I found out about my son, I said, "Wow, this is completely like life changing." But that's where the joy and happiness that I have now, man, is on a whole nother level, I tell you. So, and the beautiful thing is that he loves music and dance just as much as his dad does.
Well, of course,
He
man.
loves to sing, he loves to play music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just makes me really happy.
Good.
I'm blessed, man.
How
I
old?
can't even say.
How old is your son now?
Kenzo will be 3 in September.
So he's
So
talking
he's,
now, of course.
yeah, he's already talking. I mean, he'll tell you already how to dance your basic, man.
That's good, man. Have you,
Yeah.
have you developed a different attitude when it comes to perspective and in dealing with people? For example, your dance team, now that you deal with your son, is
Mm,
have your attitude changed in that area? What I mean is, being a dance director, sometimes for me,
yeah.
sometimes when the technique is not being done right, even though it's repeatedly practiced, you lose a little patience there and whatnot. But then
Mm.
I handle my niece and nephews, man. So when I do that, I know what you go through. So
Yeah. It's not easy, man. But you know what? That's another great question, man. I have to say that, I was known to be very military style when I coached.
oh, you came for
And
your
yeah,
training dictates that. Yeah.
yes. So, I come from dance coaches,
Yeah.
who are military style. It's like, you get it done, and this is how you need to get it done. If you don't put in that work
Yeah.
and this kind of work, then you're gonna run into, some obstacles.
Yes.
And but definitely, man, my patience level has increased by 1,000%, man. So I tell you, for all my previous students, for all my previous dancers, I want to apologize for being so short with you guys. And it's just it's the mentality that
Yeah,
right? Is that champion mentality where this is how I won, and I'm only going to teach you what helped me.
yeah,
But taking a step back now, looking at it into perspective is I realized that people learn things, differently.
indeed. Yeah,
Some people are more technical, some people are visual, some people require a lot of time. And once you can categorize those, I believe that the only way that you can do that is again by, having a special skill set. And once you have that special skill set and defining or differentiating which category your students fall into, is then knowing how to treat them, how to make sure that they feel safe in your space,
yeah.
right? And that they feel valued in your space, which I believe every dance teacher is guilty of, not doing.
I love this,
Yeah.
Louis, because one of the ways I test
Yeah.
dance teachers, our fellow dance teachers, is
Yeah.
to test them. It's not a test for me. It's I just ask them certain questions, whether they're indeed an effective teacher, if you will.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and you're one of the few that tells me this, which
Yeah.
I love because I'm a psychologist, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
we got different learners, we got visual, we got
Right.
kinesthetic, we got oral and all of that.
Right.
I
Right.
love hearing
Right.
that from you, which really
Yeah.
really makes me feel good and just
Yeah.
confirms what I've suspected all along watching your students that you're a great teacher.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. But it's the same goes for teacher and student. So I think it really does go both ways. There's a lot of students who know how to deal with or how to work with a specific dance teacher's type or style, right? So, there's a lot of credit to be given as well to the students.
Indeed, indeed. It's a matter of how bad do they want it,
Right,
well,
right.
and there's that several intensity there because most of your students really just
Yeah,
the people that you train, the people that I train
yeah.
just want to social dance. Okay, don't get me wrong, but the people that go with you, they freaking want to win the whole world,
Man, I think it's two different worlds, the social. If you were to ask me, Rodney, what do I enjoy the most? And still to this day, I can tell you, I enjoy social dancing so much more than the competitive world. I think the only reason, one of the main reasons why I got into competition was because, I have that baseball mentality.
Yeah,
It's, my many years of my life invested in what my dream was to become a major league baseball player.
yeah.
So in baseball, you
So
have to
well, let
have
me
this.
ask you this. Let me interrupt you this. Giants or A's?
Oh man, I'm a Giants all day, every
Your
day.
brother is Ace.
I know. I always tease him, man. I always tease him, and I say, Gino, who's that, man? And he's like, the A's, bro, the A's. I'm like, I don't know who that is, man. And he's like, shut up, man. Gino is. It's funny, man. He's oh, so I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, baseball, and I love the Oakland. I call them the Oakland Raiders still, but now it's Las Vegas Raiders, right? But so my brother and I see eye to eye there. Only on baseball teams that we don't,
Yeah, my brother and he is a Giant fan, and I'm a Ace fan. Uh,
Yeah,
I am a 49er fan, true and true. I left Raiders a long time ago because I'm not that loyalist. Unlike Chino, but those Raiders fans, man. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
They're like all the way. It doesn't matter what happens to Raiders. They are Raiders
Yeah,
true and true.
man. If I showed you how many gray hairs I have from watching the Raiders play, man, oh my goodness, it's yeah, man, it's an emotional thing.
Well,
It's
let
an
me ask you
emotional
this
thing.
because I've seen you evolved as a person and as a dancer. Uh, counting the days when we were young and social dancing at Cafe Kokomo and Glass Cat. Uh,
Yeah,
we always watch you dance when we social dance because amongst that all of us you were different. You had this street flavor,
thanks.
bro. Yes, you had that structure, you had that posture, even though at that
Mhm.
time you haven't learned the fundamentals of ballroom yet, but you've
Yeah,
learned the
yeah,
fundamentals of salsa, and I believe you and your brother are self-taught from the
thanks.
beginning and then join a team just
Yeah,
to get along with people, okay? Which is Salsa Mania at that time was the first one, I believe.
yeah,
But then we always watch you on the floor because we steal moves from you.
yeah.
From
Oh
banging
man.
down, from after crossbody lead and banging down the freaking dance floor with your hand. We stole that shit.
Hey, by the way, you know what? That move right there, that is from Chino, my
Is that
brother.
Pacino really?
Yes, yes, man. I saw him doing that, and I was like, "Yo, that is so awesome! Look at how many people are watching him do this stuff." And
You
it just popped in
popularize
my
it
head
because I
again.
remember me and Eugene used to watch and wait for
Yeah.
that fucking move.
Oh man, it's one of those moves where now you'll take it back and you'll say, "I wouldn't do that
And then
again."
and then I believe
Yeah,
from your street savvy
yeah,
dance,
yeah,
you had a goal, and I don't know what that goal is. You can tell me. All of a sudden, you went to New York, dude.
yeah,
Not too many people in our community want to take that risk. Just to
yeah.
go to another city, get out of their comfort level, and learn and add new things, and particularly the structure of ballroom. I believe that's where you even went as a great teacher because of the principles of
Right.
teaching and the perfectionism of ballroom.
Yeah. Well, many things inspired me to move to pursue the career of dance,
Yes.
and I knew that the only way to become really good is to go to a place where you have the top dogs and the top dogs and the top ladies of dance. And what other place in New York City at the
Yeah.
time for mambo and on two dancing? And without I don't want to give all the credit to New York or New York style dancing
Sure.
and all the dancers in New York. There were a few inspirations in the Bay Area for me. As you mentioned, my brother and I loved social dancing. My brother met John Freddy,
Yeah.
Sasa Mania, and Liz Rojas, and they introduced me to my brother and I to what on dancing on time was. My brother and I were like, what? What is that? But I think we had an incredible. I personally had a fantastic time with Hasamania because that they opened the door for me to get on a stage.
Yeah.
You know, I had no idea what performance was. You know, and and to know that we built that friendship and that we had that confidence in one another that we were just going to pull through and put the show together, though some of them were incredibly hilarious. John Freddy has some bloopers that if you saw them, Rodney, you'd say, oh my God, these guys what were they doing?
Well, credit to
You
John
know?
Freddy, and I love him so much. We're good friends. That fucking beer bottle to stand has Lizzler and then fell down. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Hey, listen, on a level of difficulty, man, that is a 9.5.
That's true.
That is
It is
so
true.
tough, man. That is really, really complex,
Yeah.
man. So I love to see John Freddy bring that back.
No,
It
you
was
know what
just
I love
fun.
about them though? Dude, we know John Freddy is old, but he still look like 12. We know this, okay? He still competes. What the fuck? You know?
You know, from what I know, and I tell you this, John Freddy, since day one that I met him, I knew that there's certain personality types
Yeah,
where
yeah.
people are very passionate about what they do and what they want in life. And John Freddy's a competitor, man. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a go-getter, and you know his results show, man.
Yeah,
You know, he's been in the scene. He's got one of the longest running dance companies and one of the most successful dance companies in the Bay Area. And
agreed.
that's inspirational, man. You know, there's
Yeah.
not many people that can survive everything that they've survived.
What,
You know, so I give them a
but,
lot of
but going
credit.
back to that question, bro, from
Yeah,
street dancer, social
right.
dancer to a competitive dancer, what was
Yeah.
the difference as far as training is concerned?
Oh man, it's different. You know, it's so different because social dancing, you'll go social dance.
Yeah,
You'll find out, you know, what the clubs are, Cafe Kokomo, Glass Cat Days. That's fantastic. But, you know, one of the inspirations for me was Oliver Pineda. And, you know, I also have this competitor mentality that when I set my goal, my mind to something, I strategize how I'm going to get there. And, you know, Oliver Pineda, for me, when I saw him winning Las Vegas, he was just, I was like, damn, that guy is sick, man. That guy is incredible.
yeah,
Like he and his dance partner, Luda,
yeah.
I said, damn, like I want to be like that. Like I want to get up there to that level. Like, how do I do that? So the inspiration came from there. You know, I saw the competitors. I was watching international ballroom dancers. I loved the presentation. I loved how grounded, how structured everything was. And I said, you know, let me take a trip to New York City. I went out there for vacation. Um, you know, at the time, it also happened to be on a New York Salsa Congress
Yeah,
weekend, and boy, did it change my life, man. I tell you, I saw Santo Rico. That's when they had Juan Matos out there.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, Tomas Guerrero. Everybody was there, man, and you know Nelson Flores.
I mean, that
You
was
know,
the time in Latin Madness era, you know?
oh, dude, yeah. I mean, it was fantastic. So, you know, I had a chance to talk to Nelson Flores. And Nelson Flores, I loved what he did, man. I loved his style. It looked so simple. Everything looked so easy.
And
I
smooth.
said, man, I like,
Yeah,
yeah, smooth.
yeah.
And I said, I really want to dance like this guy. You know, I put in my 2 weeks notice at work, and you know, I said, I'm moving to New York, man. And
I still couldn't believe it when that happened. I was like, "What the hell, Lou Dog? Come on, man!" You know. By the way, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen,
man.
we call him Lou Dog in the Bay Area, and there's a little story with that.
Yeah. So you know, I'm gonna get back to that Ludog in a bit. But yeah, man, you know those are the things that inspire me. So I put in my 2 week notice. I went to New York City. I moved out there during the winter time, and I said, man, I gotta do something. You know, and at the time I was dating this young lady who was doing a travel assignment as well in New York City.
Yeah,
She's incredible as well, man. I owe a lot to her. Jennifer Flores is her name, and
I
you know
remember her.
yeah. So you know, it was also you know she was already in New York.
Yeah,
I said, you know, I gotta move out there, man. You know, it just feels right. You know, I moved out there, enjoyed my time in New York. She found a studio called Dance Sport, Paul Pellicoro's Dance Sport, and she says, you have to go check them out. You know, I know you love to dance, and you know, see what classes they have. So I said, awesome. You know, I'll go take a look. And you know, I social danced with one of their teachers. One of their teachers said, "Hey, you know, we're looking for an extra salsa guy." And I said, "I don't teach. You know, I don't know how to teach,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
just dance." So they had a great teacher training program, which you know, where they taught you international Latin. That was all the dances in international Latin. You know, they taught you Argentine tango, waltz, foxtrot, all the American smooth, American rhythm. It was just beautiful, man. So that training built that, you know, what more is there to this training? And I knew that the World ESPN World Salsa Championships was happening.
Yeah.
And here comes this young lady, looks super fierce, walks into the studio, and I said, "Man, who is she?" And they said, "That's Anya Katzman." I said, "She looks really important, you know." So that is where my dance partnership began. I was teaching with her. We met at the studio. I mentioned to Anya the World Salsa ESPN World Salsa Championships. She comes. She comes from a
Ballroom.
ballroom world,
Yeah. Her brother
international
is
Latin.
her brother made a name for himself in the ballroom era. Yeah.
Oh, dude! I mean, he's a 10-time world champion in the amateur category. Like the guy is
Yeah.
incredible.
I know.
And these competitions I used to watch on PBS. It was Eugene Katzevman all along. I'm like, dang,
Me,
that guy
me,
is
me too, man.
fast.
I came from ballroom also, so I
Yeah.
know all of the names.
So, long story short is Anya and I partner up, at work. They said, can you guys put something together, paso doble, and then make you a little mambo?
Yeah.
I said, sure, absolutely. So we didn't intend to be a partnership. It was an experiment.
Yes.
And, then New York City Salsa Congress comes in and they're hosting a competition with Choco Knight.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And Choco saw both of us and he said, yo, you guys gotta sign up for my competition, man. He goes, you guys gotta do this. Jamie Josephson was also there, who's a ballroom
Yeah.
mambo dancer as well. He says, you guys bring something to the table that is very different.
Yeah.
And the training, of course, involved. I trained with Eugene Katzman. I trained with Billy Fajardo, who I praise and give so much credit to, because little does he know, he impacted me in a very, very positive way. Despite his teaching style, because Billy can be really cold and bold, just straight up,
He's
like
from the
Papa.
Bronx, bro.
Yeah, he's like Papa. I remember my first my first competition, man. He saw my feet and he goes, Papa, your partner's great, man. She's technically awesome. He goes, you got the Latino that's sabor. You can't trade that. But bro, he goes, your feet, your sickle feet, Papa, that's gotta go, man. He's like, you're horrible.
Hey, he does. I used to judge beside the guy, and so I would hear all
Oh
his
my
comments, bro.
god. But and I was able to approach him and say, hey, would you be willing to take me under your wing? I want to dance like you. I want to stand like you. I want to learn from you. And it takes a lot for Billy to take someone under their wing, and he did, man. He took me under his wing, and I learned so much from him, man. I learned so much from him. I learned so much from Nelson Flores. I learned so much from Osmar Perrones. Like, I had Osmar Perrones take a look at our pieces a few times, and Osmar is a very well respected name worldwide. And, for Osmar to give you credit for the work that you're putting out there and for him to enjoy it was an A+ for me. I just said, okay, awesome. Now I can
Yeah.
proudly represent New York City in the World Latin Championship. So
Yeah.
it was great, man. And we competed and we were lucky, man. I think that success for Anya and I came really fast, but it was all those previous years
It
that we
was
had
uh, it
invested
was
in.
like a period of 2 years, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it all happened in God. Yeah, it's a matter of a year, 2 years.
Now
So
let's talk about your first win, the
yeah,
World Championship. I believe that was in San Diego. I believe.
yeah.
Was it in San Diego or Las Vegas?
The first win for us, the World Championships,
Yeah. Where'd Latin
was
Cup?
in that was in Miami.
Was that in Miami?
Yeah, so they had it in Miami,
What,
Orlando.
what was the time when you were going against Pineda?
Oh, with Pineda was also in Orlando. They did it in. This is when they had it at Disney World in Orlando.
All I know is I judged you one time,
Yeah,
and I believe it was in San Diego. We're Latin Cup, and
yeah.
here's my feeling about it, and here's the feeling amongst the judges, okay? Because
Yep.
it's a behind the scenes, and I was there judging you as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Semifinals.
Yeah.
Oliver and Luda, that routine was unbeatable. Okay, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you props.
Yeah.
You probably were
Yeah.
going second there, bro. Okay,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
it was clean. It was precise. Their techniques. It was not complicated. That's what we
Yeah.
look for as judges. The
Yeah.
the mastery of the technique,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I saw you and Anya. You were consistent and clean, of course. And then the final came. Oliver and
Yeah.
Luda changed their routine, which
Yes.
was their failure because that routine was not clean. The technique
Yeah.
were not as good, but you and Anya maintain although it's a different routine, maintain the concept of the routine. Therefore, you stood out right there, and therefore you won the show.
Thank you, bro. I thank you so much to hear that, and it's beautiful to hear that from a judge's point. And a lot of times people think that when you're friends with some of the judging panel, they think that there is this bias
Wait, wait,
that
wait, wait, wait. Let me cut you
yeah.
off right there. Just because you're my
So,
friend, that means I expect more from you.
exactly, exactly, and that's what I tell people. I do remember my first competition with Oliver, and I remember Anya and I the first time we went to the World Championships. Oliver is sitting behind us, and I'll never forget this. This is why I admire very much Oliver and this gesture of his. It's you're trying to get to the semifinals, and they were only taking 10 couples at that time. And here comes 10 9 8 7 6 5 4, and they call third place, like in who's going in third into the finals. And they called Junior and Emily, and I said, oh my God, like, Anya, we didn't make it. So I'm really emotional, and Oliver's standing behind, and he goes, why are you worried? And I said, I don't think we made it, man. He goes, just watch. And I mean, this is the first time that we meet Oliver, and he goes, you'll be fine. And then they call us going into second place in the semifinals, Luis and Anya. And I said, what? No way. There's just no way. And I just looked at Oliver and I just said, thank you so much, man. Like, this is the champion telling you that. And and since that day, man, like, just my respect for him grew that much more. But I still wanted to beat him.
But
And we
you
went
did. You
to
did.
we went to
And,
Korea.
bro, you did. Ever since he lost to you, he didn't compete for a while.
It's
but
funny.
but the my impression with all of you athletes, because before I judge, I go behind the door where you guys all change. I look at your attitudes.
Yeah,
I look at most of you introduce yourself before the judges, behind the scenes also. Uh, but I just knew it right there from the get go that it's a game of chess. You have all the techniques, you have all the preparation, but my God, it's a game of chess from the semifinal to
yeah,
finals. That's where
yeah,
it is when you're right here.
yeah,
And
yeah.
your strategy with Anya was awesome because I saw it already. I saw it in your faces like, yeah, we got this. You remember, hey, bro, you remember Andrew and John beat
Yes,
Eli?
yes.
You know in their faces like, yeah, we got this bitch.
It's over. It's over. It's done. Yeah, man. I tell you this, the reward of competition is so beautiful to know that you've climbed that mountain.
Yeah,
And, once you get that reward, man, it's the best feeling in the world. One of the things that I've learned is just like you said, is a game of chess,
yeah.
right? If whoever plays their cards or the right makes the right moves that day, I what I learned about competition is that because I win, it didn't make me better. You know, I think that I can humbly say that, and in all honesty tell you that I highly respect and value all the competitors. Any one of us, from Ernesto and Maritza, David and Paulina, Victor and Katia, Oliver and Luda, and so many other amazing competitors that we were going up against that year, I said, man, the tables can flip here and any one of us can win. I said, it's just who executes and comes through that day. And you only have 2 minutes to do it.
Well, let me ask
And
you this, because
yeah,
now you have judged multiple competitions and you are now considered
right.
a coach and a judge. Uh, what do you look for? Because for me, now that I concentrated myself in bachata when it comes to composition, it's
Yeah,
not the technique, it's not the complication movements that I look for. It's
right,
the foundation of the technique, the perfection of the technique, the
right.
execution of the technique. So I was one time watching Tito Ortos and his
Yes.
partner, right? Fucking
Yeah,
awesome couple, right?
yeah, yeah,
And I was watching it with some other bachateros, right? I believe that
right.
was in Canada. I was like, you know, the routine is boring, not that complicated. It's like, are you? And I looked at them, I was like, you guys are stupid. Do you watch them execute the techniques with ease, man?
Oh
Not too many
my
people do
God.
that on the
Yes.
stage.
Yes. Yes. You know what, Rodney? That is where that saying goes, knowledge is power,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of times, and this is to all to the new dancers in any form of dance, when something looks easy on the stage, that has been worked for a very long time.
Yes.
And it takes two people to be able to know each other's connection
Yeah.
to make it look that simple. I
Yeah.
mean, I believe that Anya and I we made that happen, man. Like where
Well,
our routines looked so easy, and I said,
bro,
"Yeah, you try it."
that's a ballroom training mentality, man. That's the culture of ballroom. You fucking do that Roomba walk back and forth for all day, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah. You're not learning anything else until the technical stuff is
Yep.
on point.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Now,
yeah, man.
as a teacher,
Yeah,
I know you have taught many students from beginners to advanced. What's your philosophy?
man, that's a great question, dude. There's so many things that come to mind. From a teacher's point of view, what I want to inspire people, man, and I want to give people the things that weren't given to me. And what I mean by that is, in no way, shape, or form did my teachers cut their knowledge short that
Sure.
they provided to me. But it's more of when I have an hour and a half to teach my students something, what do I want them to bring home, right? Because we all want to take a class, we all want to learn something, but it's got to be impactful. And when you can connect that to people's way of life and you can um, make them feel as if, oh my God, like these are things that are happening or going on in my life. And you're saying that I'm really good at this and I can just apply it to dance. So it's simplifying the art of dance. For me, that is my philosophy. And it's how do you do that? Is by telling people when, which is the timing, where is the foot placement, and the how is their body movement, right? So there are the technical things that I focus on, and those are my three principles of dance: timing, foot placement, weight transfer. So that also answers the question as to what am I looking for from a competitor. A routine could be so complex,
Yeah.
but if your timing and your foot placement and your weight shifting, your body movement isn't there technically, I don't care about your routine because that really doesn't matter. It's more of how comfortable and how mature of a dancer a professional dancer should look like.
I'm glad you say that because when I
Yeah,
judge world competition bachata, and I look for basics. I look for great fundamentals, their foot placement, the movement of their
right,
hips. We're talking bachata, dude. you know,
right, right,
and the way they lead with their partners. Let me ask you this. Let me get specific to a particular technique, Luis,
yes,
because when it comes to salsa, you are now much more expert than I am because of your experiences and training of different kinds of dancers. Crossbody lead, CBL.
yeah,
I teach my students salsa basics. When I teach them salsa
yeah,
basics, when you do crossbody leads, the follower needs to apply that pressure so that it is you're pulling her and not trying to guide her as you walk away there. You haven't even led her yet. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
It's like a
You know,
rubber band type of thing, you know?
I'm I'm a little sensitive to the word, pulling, when it comes to dance,
Yeah.
because I think everything is, give and take, right?
Yes, of course, of
I
course.
think on a crossbody lead, for me, for example, what's really important is, again, it's the timing, right? It's
Yeah.
knowing when he has to walk forward. Let's say we're doing an on two, you're forward 1-2,
Mm.
right? Ladies go forward 1-2. Some ladies tend to collect one, and then they'll stay back. And I
Yes.
say, oh, come on, like, don't let me use all my weight, to get you across, right? It's just you go. Um, but I think it's more of, it relates to both, man. Because even, the
Would
guys,
are you
yeah,
providing as a leader when you cross body lead? Let's let's get rid of the word pull because I
yeah,
wordly wrong that. Do you provide an anchor? Is if that makes sense?
yeah. I mean, it's
Especially your
stability,
right arm.
right? There's that stability, where, and what I mean by that is, you as a lead should be grounded
Yes.
in for any assistance that the lady may need. If I'm allowing the lady to walk forward, then, just walk forward,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It should be that simple. Um, some ladies get into this habit of, delaying their steps, and therefore now I have to
You
assist
have
you
to.
a little,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's many different ways, and I don't want to say that a crossbody lead is specifically to one type, and that it should be done one specific way,
Sure.
because as we can see, there's thousands and millions of techniques out there,
Yeah.
and it's just. But what I do pay attention to, Rodney, when dancing any move, is how comfortable that lady feels dancing with me during the basics prior to doing anything else.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of my leads out there, pay attention to that, because the ladies need that. If they're not comfortable, they're not going to react to anything else that you want them to do. So it's just, you really have to know that the lady, how comfortable she feels during the dance, will determine how well that dance can turn out, or how
Agreed.
bad it can go. Right. So
Agreed.
I think that's my advice to that. However you want to dance that crossbody lead, if it's on a competitive form, then absolutely there will be a structured way of dancing the crossbody lead from a judge's point of view now, right? So that's the best way I can answer that, bro.
What is your? What do you think is your? What do you think is the greatest dance movie of all time?
Oh man, dance with me, dude.
Dance with
You
me, huh?
gotta love that. Yeah, man. I see.
Although
Okay,
Cheyenne's
okay,
technique wasn't that good, it was still
okay. I
okay.
take it back. I take it back. Yeah, I take it back. I have to say, Dirty Dancing. I love Dirty
I
Dancing, man. Now that
agree.
I take that back, oh, that was something else.
I agree.
And then my second would be, Dance with Me.
Yeah.
And why do I say Dance with Me, man? Because it has the Latin. Uh, it's the first time that I saw that there's, Latino
It was
influence
inspirational.
in Latin dances. You even have dancers from Los Angeles in that movie, like
Yeah.
Rogelio Moreno, who's another man. That dude, he doesn't
That-
know this, but Rogelio was a big inspiration for me, man.
Is
That
that
guy,
right?
oh, dude, he's, man, from the way Rogelio Moreno dressed to the way that Rogelio Moreno presented himself, he and his team on stage,
Yeah.
man, they were dancing on one LA style, but they were smooth as hell, man. And I was like, these guys are great. I mean, no, no, I don't want to discredit anybody else, because there's many other names from LA, like the Vasquez brothers, Johnny, Francisco, Luis, who I grew up watching.
Yeah.
You have my buddy, Cristian Oviedo, who just,
That's
you
another
know,
one. Cristian Oviedo is that's a beast right there. That's a beast.
yeah, dude, yeah, yeah,
I mean, if there
fantastic.
was a Jack and Jill competition, Christian Oviedo will win them all. That's just
Oh yeah,
how
yeah,
unpredictable he is.
yeah. He's man. The guy is so talented. He's so talented, and I loved competing alongside him. He was. I said, man, dude, don't join the on two category, please, bro. you know? And I remember, him competing in the on one category, and we won our titles in the same years.
Yeah.
So it was very meaningful for us both. So yeah, I'm just, having flashbacks of all that, man, and it was just great. Yeah.
What was the greatest congress that you ever got invited into all over the world?
Oh, dude, that one is tough.
I mean,
Oh
all of them are
man,
great, don't get me wrong, but if you were to pick one,
let's. You know which one I really liked,
hmm,
Rodney? I really, really enjoyed
all
London
right.
Salsa Congress.
Yeah,
Yeah, I man, dude, that Congress was beautiful. And
they
then,
got great
of
dancers there.
course,
Yeah,
oh man, yeah, dude, that was
dancers,
amazing.
yeah.
And I for that I have to give credit to my buddy Nelson Flores because he was able to, get us booked for that gig in London, and it was incredible, man. Um, there's many, man. Uh, San Francisco Salsa Congress. I'm not being just because I'm a Bay Area kid, but let me tell you, man, Ricardo and Michelle used to put together a badass salsa
I
congress.
agree. I
You
agree.
know,
It
that was
was, in
incredible.
my opinion, at that time, the second largest salsa congress in the world.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was. It
Being
was
Albert Torres being the LA Salsa Congress with the La La Land.
yeah. But I gotta give a lot of love, man, to LA Salsa Congress too, man, because that's where a lot of us started, man.
Yeah,
So I think I would say that's the mother. That's the mother of us all, man. LA Salsa Congress, they provided a beautiful stage for everybody to showcase their talents, their skills, and what they can do. So it was fantastic.
it was one of the biggest, and it was one of the biggest Congress. We planned in the year to go there. We carpooled. Man, and we did a lot of things in that Congress, dude. We
Yeah,
videotaped a lot. We recorded a lot of videotapes of people social dancing.
yeah,
That was when the pros didn't mind
yeah,
dancing every second and dancing with everyone.
yeah,
And that's where we learned our salsa and a lot of
yeah,
complicated moves because we keep rewinding and
yeah,
playing that video, dude.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. You know what's
But
another one that was
you were
fantastic?
part there. I think we were roommates at one time or another. We carpooled going to LA, dude. And that's when you
I remember
introduced me to Flor de
Florida
Caña,
Caña.
which I thank you very much because to this day, and to
Yeah,
this day, I know my bachateros will hate me because I'm putting Brugal as the fifth favorite drink of mine.
yeah,
Flor de Caña with Coke. You
yeah.
can't beat it, man. It's a time release type of drink, so you think it's not affecting you, so you keep drinking until you
Next
get
thing you
fucked
know,
up.
and then next thing you know, you're out, man. Yeah, it's a great drink, man. Those were definitely great moments, great times that we had, and geez, man, how time flies, right?
Time flies, bro, but one thing I
Yeah,
appreciate about you and most of our talents in the Bay Area, really, I'm always proud of you guys because without you guys, the dance scene in the Bay will never be put on the map. As you
yeah,
know, we've never been categorized then when we were just
yeah,
starting doing it was LA or New York City. That was it, right?
right, right.
Now in the world we are on the map. The Bay Area talents, and I can name names that
Yeah,
dominated the world. Not only dominated the world, became pioneer in the
yeah,
dance, and
yeah,
very influential at that.
yeah.
And you're one of the inspiration that we have. You're one of the pride that we have
Thank
in
you,
the
bro.
Bay Area.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And it's great that we all in the dance community have done so much to better ourselves, as dancers, as people, and as the dance community.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Though, of course, there's some personal things that for me are, why are we so saturated? Why is everybody a teacher? But
Yeah.
the mentality before was that. For me now, it's you know, people have a platform which they can explore, they can experiment, and
Indeed.
everybody has an opportunity to be able to do this.
Yeah.
We have no organization like the NDCA, right? Like National Dance Association. So we don't have that in the Latin dance community,
No,
in the salsa world.
we
So
tried. Some of
without
us
any,
tried.
yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna be really tough. It's gonna take us many, many years. We will look like the Donald Trumps, not to get all political, but but at the same time, I come to that realization that everybody deserves an opportunity to explore and to experiment. And whether they find their niche or not, I hope that everybody does, because once you find your niche in teaching, performing, or competing, man, I can tell you, it is the most rewarding feeling, and nothing and nobody can ever take that away from you. So by all means, let's let people do what they want to do.
As a coach, what is your best advice to the people that wants to win a championship who are now training?
I would say, for first and foremost, is the attitude, you know, and I'm sure that a lot of people hear that. And what does that mean? It's you can't compete just to win. You know, you can't just say I'm going to do this and I'm going to win. You have to do a lot of research. There's a lot of research out there. Unfortunately, you have YouTube, you have Facebook, you have
Yeah.
Instagram. Many dancers like us, we didn't have any of that. So we had to go out and find out on our own. And, know what you're competing against. Know who your competitors are
Yeah.
and strategize around that. Take a little bit of everybody, you know, and most importantly, make sure that you have a winning team in your coaches.
That's important.
A lot of people think that I can teach you everything, but I can't. I may be able to teach you what I want to see artistically according to my eye,
Yeah.
but then Ronnie can teach you other things. So a choreography is not something that's just built by two people.
Yeah.
You need many, many, many sets of eyes to touch and clean up the little details that are necessary. There's many fantastic dance coaches out there, many dance champions out there. Train with the best. Train with the people that are winning championships or that have won championships, and get yourself together a really good team. That's what every good sports team has.
Yep. I agree with you. By the way, you're excited about Hawaii, are you?
Dude, I am so excited about Hawaii.
Bro, we
Let
need
me
this
tell you,
vacation, dude. We need this fucking vacation.
you know what it is, bro. I am truly excited to share with people what I've been holding in for the past year, man. Like I think I kid you not, man. Like, just I've been practicing how I am going to teach my dance syllabus
Yeah. Yeah.
and make it easy for everybody. You know, I think I'm a pretty good teacher, man. But
You are.
never,
I watch all of my teachers teach at my festivals. I just smile when I see you guys, particularly you. I used to watch Anya also. Very strict, dude. Bro. I heard rumors about Anya as far as how strict she is, right? And then one time I was watching in her Canada, it was an advanced class. So I just watched because I like to watch teachers so that maybe I should invite them to my festival. And it was an advance, and 80% of the people are not getting what she's teaching because they're not that advanced. And we're just talking, hey, bro, we're just talking hip movements here. We're just talking hip movements. So she said, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here for advanced class and you don't want to take Basic class, when I'm about to change, leave now. We are going back to basics.
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off, man.
Oh man, let me tell you. Yeah, man, but I stand by that, man. I
Me
stand
too.
by that way of teaching,
Me too.
because I think, especially, see, here's the thing that the student doesn't understand. When
Yeah,
you're the professional and you're hired to teach an advanced class, the expectation of the organizers is for you to teach an advanced class. So I think as a student, also, and I don't blame a lot of them, because a lot of them don't hear what they should from
sure.
their primary teachers.
Yeah,
You have to know what level you stand in and what you're capable of taking in, right? If
yeah,
you're up for the challenge, awesome. But make it a point that you say, I'm intermediate and I want to try out your show up early to that workshop,
yeah,
introduce yourself to the teacher and say, is it okay if I take your advanced class? I'm an intermediate level dancer wanting to get up to this level. And it'd be an honor to learn from a teacher like yourself, right? So
yeah,
I think it takes a lot of communication that there's some little things in the community that can be better.
yeah,
I was that student, I always ask questions, man. I would say, why?
yeah,
There's no, final answer to that. But I wanted to know why.
yeah.
So, don't go into an advanced workshop if you're a beginner, because it's going to hold everyone else back.
So
And
at the
you're going to be,
Hawaii Expo, are you okay if we hang out there from Thursday to Tuesday?
hell yes, absolutely.
I
Let's hang
like
out
to,
there from Thursday to Thursday.
yeah,
Yeah.
before or after the festival, I like us to drive all over Oahu, bro.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I'm down with that.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
All right. Rapid questions. Okay.
Yeah,
One word only. Okay. Chocolate or sex?
both.
You can't have both, man.
Hey,
But
listen, you know what? I'm gonna let the scene know a little bit about myself. I love chocolate, but I'm a human being, so I gotta go with sex, man. I love
well,
attention. I love sex, man. So
you
yeah.
should. Who I was interviewing someone and I asked that question, and she said, "I like to eat the chocolate while having sex."
We gotta find out who that is. I'm just kidding.
No, I can't tell you online.
I'm just kidding.
Um, the best time to have sex.
Oh man, every day.
Yeah.
Uh,
What time though?
dude, I man, I'd have to say before bed, man. You know, yeah,
It's just right. It just right flow into sleeping, right?
yeah, yeah, dude, yeah. Yeah. Work yourself to sleep.
um, basic or complicated moves.
Basic,
That's in social
basic.
dancing of mine. Yeah. Uh, Hector Lavoe or Mark Anthony?
Hector Lavoe all day, every day. Let me throw on my Hector Lavoe. Hang on a second. Inspired by Hector Lavoe right here, man. Yeah,
One word. Anya Katzibman.
incredible.
Albert Torres.
I want to say I can call him a godfather, dude.
David Melendez.
Oof, man, one word, phenomenal,
Choco.
phenomenal.
DJ Chino, your brother.
Mentor, man,
Jen and Liz.
mentors.
Bay Area salsa scene.
Joy.
Great time, bro. Great time. I look forward to seeing you in Hawaii. Uh, it's gonna be great. We have multiple rooms, one salsa, one bachata, maybe kizomba. I'll have to decide last minute if people are. But
Yeah,
it looks like the people are so deprived of dancing and vacation that they want to go to Hawaii.
yeah,
Everywhere else, it's so perfect for Hawaii, you know.
dude, it's a great event. Thank you for putting the event together. I'm pretty sure that everybody, all the dancers and all the dance communities that will be joining and taking part of this event, they're gonna have a great time.
Yep,
And
yep,
that's really what it's all about. I think everybody should take that time to take it as a celebration of life. You
yeah.
know,
I agree.
you
One
know.
last question:
So,
how did you get the name Lou Dog?
Lou Dog. So, as I was in my baseball days, we always addressed each other as dog. Yo, what's up, dog? Oh, good hit, dog. Good hit, dog. And everybody called me Lou. My siblings, they don't call me Luis, so they call me Lou. Hey, Lou. So one day, I believe it was you, Rodney,
No, it wasn't me,
that
man. It wasn't me who called you that. But I remember who.
so, so I know that I was calling somebody. I just kept saying, yeah, dog, what's up, dog? And he was like, you always say dog, so I'm just gonna call you Lou Dog. So because they called me Lou, and it was like
Bro,
Lou
I
Dog.
think it was either John or Big
It
Rob.
was
It was either
John.
John or Big Rob. Yeah,
It was John Freddy. There you go. I
yeah,
used to
yeah, yeah.
always call John Freddy. Yo, what's up, dog? It's crazy, man. Junior and I, Junior Alavi, we always talk that way. What's up, dog? Good to see you, dog. So it's funny nowadays when you hear yourself from back then how you used to speak, man. I
No,
still try to keep it
how
unique,
we used to behave because we were drunk as fuck, dude. Uh,
all the time.
I mean, God, we would drink all night while dancing. We sweat it out,
Yeah,
recover, dance again, drink again,
yeah,
and we were dancing freaking 6 nights a week. And the reason we were
yeah,
not dancing seven is because there was no salsa on Monday, you know.
yeah. Yep, that's true. That's very true.
But
Yeah, man. It was all good times.
thanks for the time, Lou Dog, and I want to thank you personally for always supporting my events, whether it was during Salsa Gang Picnic, to Bachata Festival, to Salsa Congresses. You were always there and always helped me out and sponsor it with your brother and with you both. I want to thank you very much.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you for the support as well that you've shown us through the years, and thank you for the friendship, man. I want to be a part of continued success, and I appreciate the opportunities that you've given us all, man. So thank you for that, bro.
You're
Good to be a
welcome,
part of it.
and I will see you soon. We will talk soon, but bye for now, brother.
Yeah. All right, my man. I'll see you, dude.
See you.